Hi guys, this is Dylan from the Fantasy app. I'm coming to you with my Week 11 recap, so stay tuned to find out who did the best, who did the worst, who failed, which predictions were right and wrong, and make sure to download the Fantasy app and follow me on Twitter at Dylan Fantasy app. So to kick things off, we're going to talk about quarterbacks. Our top scoring fantasy football quarterback this week was Cam Newton. He got a total of 30 fantasy points, and on top of that, he is still in his undefeated season, now 10-0. And right behind him, we had Jameis Winston with a total of 29 fantasy points, so he also did a great job this week. So for running backs, the man we have to talk about this week is Thomas Rawls from the Seattle Seahawks. He scored a total of 36 fantasy points between a touchdown and 200 plus rushing yards plus 40 plus receiving yards. So he did a phenomenal job this week, and that is the man you want to add to your roster if you can. So one wide receiver we really want to highlight is DeAndre Hopkins. He scored a total of 23 fantasy points. As predicted, he did very well against the New York Jets this week, and you can expect to see big numbers from him weekly. That is also someone you want to have on your roster if he's available. So for week 11, our top scoring tight end was Kyle Rudolph. However, right behind him with 14 fantasy points was Tyler Eifert, who, like we said last podcast, is having a phenomenal season. He is definitely someone you might want to trade for, pick up, do whatever you can to get him because he performs every single week. So for defense, I want to talk about the Denver Broncos. They were predicted this week to do very well, and they only came out with a total of 8 points. So it's time that you drop your Denver Broncos defense and you pick up the Chiefs defense. They have the top scoring defense 2 weeks in a row now for fantasy football, and that is who you want to add to your roster as playoff season comes along. And finally, for kickers, with our Week 11 recap, we just want to talk about Mason Crosby with the top scoring fantasy points, and we also want to talk about Justin Tucker. These two have both been performing extremely well all season and helping their team out a lot. So I personally have Justin Tucker. He got me 9 points, and I was pleased with that. So you definitely want to add him or Mason Crosby to your roster. So that does it for our Week 11 recap. I am Dylan from the Fantasy app, so be sure to follow me on Twitter at Dylan Fantasy app and download the Fantasy app as well. And check in tomorrow for our Thanksgiving edition of our Week 12 predictions.